In this video, I would like to introduce the topic of costs, and I want to distinguish between the two types of costs we have in economics: short-run costs and long-run costs. So, whenever we produce goods or services, we have certain types of costs that are fixed in the short run. I listed them here, the fixed factors. The fixed factors of production would be typically the land, the capital, and in often cases, specialist labor. Specialist employees that are hard to find, they are scarce. So therefore, in the short run, we cannot really change it. We cannot acquire more land or more capital or hire easily more specialist labor because these are relatively scarce and expensive. However, we also have variable factors, which would be the labor force or the regular employees that we have. And technically, or in most cases, whenever we want to increase our production, we can also add more labor to do so. That's why these factors of production are variable. They change directly with the amount of production that we incur. Now, let's transition from short run to long run. The theory is that in the long run, these costs are becoming variable as well, meaning that we are changing them. How are we changing them? We are adding them, okay? We still have land, capital, and specialist labor, but over the long run, we can have more land. So basically we have more land, okay? We can have more capital, and we can hire more specialist labor. So more specialist labor. That's the difference. However, consider the fact that the actual production is being done in short-run cycles, okay? When we talk about the long run, we're just referring that after a few months or years, we are acquiring more fixed resources, fixed factors of production. But in the short run, whenever we change that quantity, we are still starting to have fixed short-run costs. Now, how can we go from short run to long run? How long is the long run and how long is the short run? The characteristics that are going to determine how long it takes for us to increase our land or capital or our specialist labor is going to be the type of industry, okay? It's going to be the type of industry, and it's going to be the expenses. It's going to be the expenses of these factors. Expenses, or let me just say costs of these factors. If we want to acquire new land, okay, if we want to acquire new land in order to expand our business, the question is, how much does the land cost in that specific country, in that specific economy? If the land is super expensive, we need quite a lot of time in order to have enough money to buy new land. The same goes for capital. If we need super expensive capital, very refined capital in order to produce our goods, then we might as well need a long time in order to create enough profit so that we can buy that capital. And the same logic applies to the specialist labor. If our labor that we want to hire is super scarce and they demand high wages, we need a large amount of money in order to be able to hire additional specialist labor. So the extent of the short run and the transition to the long run is going to depend on what industry are we operating in. How much land, capital, and specialist labor do we need in our industry in order to succeed on the marketplace? And how much do these cost? Okay? However, I want to repeat one more time as a conclusion of this video that the actual production, okay, so I'm gonna make it over here like that. As a conclusion, the production happens in short-run cycles. When we think about the long run, we only think about increasing the fixed factors, increasing the quantity of fixed factors. But once we have additional land, additional capital, once we pay for it, this is a fixed investment. It's a fixed cost that we incur, and then we start producing again, okay? So production happens in short-run cycles. Production happens in short-run cycles. Okay? Short-run cycles. And moreover, the total production will depend on the variable factors like the labor besides the fixed factors, okay? So the total production, I'm gonna write TP, depends on variable factors. Depends on variable factors. Variable factors on top of the fixed factors. On top of the fixed factors that we pay for. Because the fixed factors are fixed costs. We pay them once and that's it. How much we produce afterwards is going to depend on the variable factors that we can employ in order to satisfy the demand on the market. I hope this all makes sense. I appreciate you all watching. If you liked the video, please make sure to subscribe and we are done.